about it, the ordinary result when a big publicly held corporation buys another corporation is that maybe two-thirds of the time it's a terrible deal for the buying corporation, and yet the people have taken enormous time doing it. And we've bought all these businesses taking practically no time in doing it, and on average they've worked out wonderfully. Why is that? That's a good question. The answer is we wait for the no-brainers. We're not trying to do the difficult things.
We're equipped for those.
And we have the patience to wait. And then we're so peculiar that there actually are a good number of businesses in America where they prefer selling to us than to other people. That's very helpful.
I just saw a review of a major company that made 10 acquisitions in a recent 5-year period. Every one of those 10 acquisitions was preceded by due diligence and all the baloney they go through, and they probably had an investment banker's book and everything. Not one of the 10 in 2001 lived up or was even close to the expectation of the presentation that was made at the time of purchase. In aggregate, the 10 earned 1/4 of what they were projected to earn in 2001. In other words, the projections were for 4 times the actual earnings. And these were companies with strategic, this is a company with a strategic, acquisition department with loads of people to go over the due diligence, with investment bankers, quote, helping them, end quote, all along the way. And 10 out of 10 failed miserably. And, you have to ask yourself, how can you produce that? Because the world didn't go to hell during that period either. I mean, that was not a time when we went into a Great Depression or anything of the sort. They were buying what was getting sold to them, and it was fulfilling some things that the management myths that the management had about itself. And managements have many myths about themselves. And it isn't that complicated if you just wait for the fat pitch. And the fat pitch doesn't have to be somebody else doing something dumb or anything like that, because people don't do that. The people that come to us come for a good reason. I mean, they usually want a transaction. They want one they're sure to close. They want, if a deal is made, and they want one that will leave the people happy that are at the business. When it was announced at Johns Manville, I believe that Berkshire was the buyer. I understand there was a standing ovation, and I've seen it at, whether it's Jordan's or Star Furniture. People are concerned. If you've been working in a company for 20 years and you know that the owning family is getting older and has some problems to take care of, believe me, they talk in the hallways about that. What's going to happen when, the family sells the place? And people worry about that. And to have an answer for them so that they all sleep the night that it's announced that the business has changed hands means a lot to some owners, and it doesn't mean anything to other owners. I don't think we've ever bought a business from a financial operator. Can you think of any, Charlie?
I can't think of one. No. Somebody once defined hell in a legal system as a place with endless due process and no justice, and we're getting close. And similarly, in the corporate world, if you have endless due diligence and no horse sense, you've just described a corporate hell, at least for the people who own the business.